we are back at B&B Studios. We're about to see Gladiator 2. I'm with my friend Matt. Matt, what do you think?
I'm excited. I'm ready to get back in that arena. It's been a long time, and I'm just so excited to see what Ridley Scott has done with this movie.
You and I both. Let's go see this thing. Let's go.
So Gladiator 2 is finally here, and after 24 years, Ridley Scott is bringing us back to ancient Rome. Is this just a rehash of the first movie, or is it a brand new story with a fresh face in the lead? It could be both. With plenty of blood and revenge to go around, Gladiator 2 is a lot like the first film, but with a lot more twists and turns. Some are obvious, and actually some I don't think you'll see coming. Now, I know what you're thinking. Can the sequel live up to the original? Is it as epic as the first Gladiator? Did anyone ask for a sequel? So let's break it down. The movie picks up 16 years after Russell Crowe's Maximus's death, and we're introduced to Lucius, the kid from the first film played by Paul Mescal. He's living in Africa and about to defend his home from the Roman general Marcus Acacius, played by the magnificent Pedro Pascal. Lucius' home is taken by Rome, and he's captured and taken to Rome to fight in the Gladiator games. Pretty common. Sort of going along with the first story. The whole point of the Gladiator games, by the way, is to bring celebration of Rome's victory over its enemies, making them fight each other. Lucius vows revenge against Acacius and works his way up through the wins of the Gladiator games to get to him to fight him and kill him with help of Denzel Washington's character, Maximus. At this time, Rome is under two emperors who are both brothers and both insane, Geta and Caracalia. Man, these are hard to say. People of Rome are starving, and Rome is really going downhill at this point. Connie Nielsen is back as the queen, who plays a pretty big part in this movie, making it a true sequel and not just a rehash of the first film. She was the emperor's sister in the first film, if you remember the emperor played by Joaquin Phoenix. You're going to really want to keep your eyes glued to the screen for every monkey, rhino, and shark battle, and the battle with the other gladiators, of course. There's one battle so crazy that I had to look up if this was a real thing back then, and I was actually shocked to find out that they actually did this. And I'm not going to give any spoilers. You'll have to see it to believe it. It is insane. But what about the emotional weight of the movie? Does the movie capture that same depth that made the first one so unforgettable? It has some, but I don't think it delivered as much as the first film. There is a lot of setup for you to feel the emotional weight of what's going on, but I'm not sure it actually lands. It lands really in the third act, but when you get to the third act, it's insane. I was literally on the edge of my seat, and it's total chaos. The film is directed by one of my favorite directors, Ridley Scott, who also directed the first Gladiator, along with films like Alien and Blade Runner. He can kind of be a hit or miss director, but when he hits it, he really hits it. The cinematography is beautiful in this movie, and I love the director of photography's choice when it comes to composition. The movie has been her epic, and I think it would have been cool to have it shot kind of like that, or like Tarantino's Hateful Eight, shot in 70mm Ultra Panavision, 2.76, very wide aspect ratio. That's just me, though. It was still a gorgeous film. The choreography of the fights are beautifully done, almost like a dance, but shot in a way that looks real and genuine. They were pretty extreme and bloody, and I enjoyed every single one of them. The fighters move with ferocious grace, if that's a thing. There's even an Anakin Skywalker two-head sword decapitation, Revenge of the Sith style. The sets were beautiful and elaborate. You see the beauty of Rome in the contrast of its desolation at the brink of Rome's fall. If you watched my reviews, you know that I'm pretty picky about the CGI in movies. If it's really bad, it can take you out of the whole experience. But I didn't find that here. I was pretty immersed, and at times I was questioning what was CGI and what wasn't. Some scenes were obvious blue screen, but it didn't bother me as much as it did with the movies like Red 1 or especially The Flash. The costume designs are award-winning. Beautiful Roman garb, great gladiator swords and shields. Lots of work went into the costumes, and it didn't feel like they were using props from the first film. Everything felt new and fresh. Pedro Pascal is always fun to watch. He nails this character being in constant battle with his conscience, wanting to see Rome out from under the crazy brother emperors, seeing its downfall, trying to decide what to do about that. Paul Mescal is fun to watch as Lucius. His character is out for revenge, and I think he is the perfect person for the specific role. I can't go into much detail than that without spoiling the film, but he does an amazing job. I wondered why they didn't use the original actor who played the kid Lucius in the original film, which I think they could have done, but I'm kind of glad they didn't after seeing the movie. The star here, hands down, though, is Denzel Washington. I mean, dang. He takes on a few scenes that I did not see coming, and I can't tell you how much I enjoyed his performance. The way his words from the script roll off his tongue and the facial expressions that he chooses to go along with that dialogue, I mean, whoa. Denzel has always been one of my favorite actors, and he pretty much outshines everyone he's in a scene with. The two Emperor brothers, played by Fred Heischinger, I hope I got that right, and Joseph Quinn, were brilliant, and made Joaquin Phoenix's Commodus from the first movie look like a Sunday school teacher. They make you feel very uncomfortable, but with a few funny moments that kind of eases the tension, or now that I think about it, kind of makes it worse. There's a real history behind these brothers that's really worth a Google. I mean, like, really shocking stuff. There are certain parts of the story that feel like it was done in the first film, but honestly, I didn't really care. I was gonna watch the original again before going in, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't, that I went in fresh. It made me want to go home and watch the first one again after seeing this movie. The movie runs around 2 hours and 28 minutes, but don't worry, it didn't feel that long, at least for me. It kept me pretty engaged, especially again with the third act, which was total chaos. For me, Gladiator 2 was a lot of fun. It wasn't a sequel that I really didn't ask for because the first film was so solid, but I'm glad that Ridley Scott made this one. The actors have really great performances, especially Denzel and Pascal. The movie is absolutely beautiful and beautifully shot. Everything from the costume design to the sound design really keeps you immersed in this period of Rome's history. The history is a little exaggerated, but it's insanely entertaining. The fight scenes are worth the price of a ticket alone, and who doesn't love a good old revenge story? I'm giving Gladiator 3.5 stars out of 5. I really enjoyed this a lot, more than I thought I would, being such a fan of the first. You never know what you're going to get with a sequel. So what did you think about Gladiator 2? Did it live up to the first? Do you consider this a true sequel or just another requel, rehash? Did this movie capture the true brutality of the Gladiator games, or was it a little soft? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I love talking to you. Like and subscribe and ring that notification bell if you want to keep up with the latest movie reviews. And remember, don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theater and see it together.
You will be my instrument.
I will never be your instrument in this life or the next.